This guy right here, the second Korean in the tournament. Will he fall as well? Yesterday, to me, there was almost a flawless day for LawLiet. That Night Elf Mirror there was absolutely crazy. Another second Night Elf Mirror in a row for LawLiet after defeating Hawk there as well. He is in shape, he's confident, and he's ready to grab a title. He's, let's see, Night Elf Mirror, it's oftentimes about items, but we love the LawLiet vs. Colorful series just yesterday. So where is this going? Will we see Demon Hunter Immolation? Is it still Bottom time? Will he move to Keeper or Warden? Let's figure out. Hey everybody, just a quick break before we go into this match. This W3Champions Finals is powered by Scale Tippers. So if you're tired of your old habits of sitting on your ass all day and eating frozen pizza every day, Scale Tippers is there to break these habits. They offer long-term and workout plans for you to exercise from home. You don't have to go to the gym and embarrass yourself with the first exercises. No, you hop on a call with them, they counsel you a little bit, and then they work out a plan that fits you, your needs, and your taste. We are very, very happy to be with Scale Tippers, and if you want to give them a little thank you, go check them out on Instagram, go check them out on YouTube, where they show a little bit of what they do, and check out thescaletippers.com. And now, enjoy the W3Champions Finals.
Yeah, I think you're going to be more up to date on the meta after casting that Colorful LawLiet series, all 5 games the other day. Me, I'm a little less in tune with what people are doing, but we did hear from LawLiet, or Rima Dima heard from LawLiet yesterday. He said, as much as I can, I want to match the strategy of my opponent. If it's Potom, he wants to go Potom in a mirror. If it's DH, he wants to go DH in a mirror. If it's Talons, he wants to play Talons. If it's Bears, he wants to play Bears. He wants to match his opponent's strategy because he knows that he can just out-micro and just play better than probably any Night Elf in the world when it comes to just pure mechanics and tactics. So if he can match the strat, he'll be in a good position.
Before we go into the nitty-gritty of the Night Elf Mirror, we got a lot of people to thank. Thank you, DC21071 for the 17-month resub. Party! Aluminium Sausage gifting a sub. Yayut with the 77-month resub. Take my pleb energy sock. Oh, that's a little late. As always, Neo and Remo keep it up. Carson, you're supposed to keep it down. As Leonard, 22-month Mini Gumbo, who I met last year, 71-month of a resub. Wurmfortsat666 for the $5 donation. Love you guys. Have a nice Sunday. And As Merit for the 3-month resub.
All right, so far, perfect creeping from both. No denies. This isn't a Back to Warcraft Weekly Cup, okay? We're not going to see every creep denied by the Lightning Shield. And Ring might actually be pretty good if we're seeing more and more Immolation. Circlet, of course, is going to be the best when we're seeing more and more Immolation. But I think all the items quite good for the Demon Hunter in the early game nowadays.
Standard early game indeed. Off to level 2. We have a skill build decision by Sini. It's Mana Burn and Evasion. The boring way of playing a Demon Hunter, but of course that counters Immolation hard, and LawLiet saw that there's no Immolation creeping and that the mana bar is still full, so he decides to go for the same build. It might just be Bear Mirror, Carson.
Yeah, it could be pretty standard. I don't mind that too much though, and LawLiet won't either. I do like LawLiet's movement. He ran straight to the shop, also cleared the Berserker, but I was just thinking, as I saw the shop creep, I was like, wow, if this was Immolation, you could straight up just creep the shop with an Archer and a level 2 Demon Hunter, no problem. So the fact that LawLiet runs straight over there to counter that, possibly, with Mana Burn, that would have been nearly GG on the Moonwells if he had actually found Sini creeping that. So I quite like that movement.
The ins and outs of the Night Elf Mirror. On this map, it's oftentimes no direct fighting, but rather sniping the main tree. And I'd say LawLiet is more experienced than Sini is. Sini for a long time played Orc versus Night Elf. For the majority of his career, he dodged the Night Elf Mirror, and therefore might not know what to do at what time perfectly. But okay, creeping continues. We're sharing the trolls.
Yep, both players will get these nice little orange camps, about as small as an orange camp can get. And the archers all meeting up. There should be 5 in total eventually, and then the Ancient Wars can either move over to the expansion or the Cobalts. Hunter's Hall coming up for LawLiet. Hunter's Hall should be coming up soon for Sini, but not yet. Ooh, could it be Talons, possibly? That would go against LawLiet's hopes and dreams of it being a pure mirror matchup, but no Hunter's Hall yet. This is either late or Talons.
You didn't listen to the FFA cast with Neutron, did you? A Hunter's Hall is never late. Night Elves are just so broke at the beginning of Tier 2. You go for some other stuff and then add the lores later. If you want to believe Neutron, which is a big if.
Yeah, I mean, I can believe Neutron, or I can believe the build that LawLiet is doing right now in front of us.
Yeah,
it's a hard toss-up.
I mean, Neutron is a War3Champions FFA champion 2 times now. LawLiet, in his short stint in the FFA scene, was never able to accomplish that, so... Yeah, I guess it's pretty much confirmed now that we have a shop, that this is not Bears.
Interesting indeed. So more of a timing-based strategy. Generally, we'll see, at least from my recent experience with Night Elf Mirror, you'll see it paired with an expansion, a fast expansion even with the Demon Hunter, and then you'll go into Talons because... You know, Archer Talon, easier to get online. You can just spam Archers and then get Talons at Tier 2, and then the Cyclone, not even that important when you have that amount of Archers, and you can sort of hold your expansion with that strategy while your opponent techs to Bears. But with this, it's just going to be one base, and then LawLiet's going to have to think about maybe possibly Mountain Giants, and of course, a little bit heavier on the Dryad count. And if you can clean up the Archers of Sini, then LawLiet's Dryads are going to be a lot stronger than they would have otherwise been.
You just go into mass range, apparently. Tier 3 for Sini. I was thinking for a second if this is the old school Remind Shredder play. Oh, look at LawLiet. Nice little block, exclamation mark at the beginning of the mid-tier skirmishes. But no Shredder, no push. LawLiet defended that really well around the tavern. And now it is gonna be Talons. And what's LawLiet's reactions? He is going for Tier 3. Could go for Dryads, Archers. Can still try to go for Bears and dodge fights. Or just go straight up into Mountain Giants.
Or just Archers. He could just build Archers. He's continuing to build Archers. He's got the Hunter's Hall, which is good for marksmanship and attack upgrades. Triple Orb Archers would actually hard counter Talons, weirdly enough, but we'll have to see. For now, no tech buildings in sight, and Naga is definitely going to be out of our sight in a second. Goes down, no TP swap there, so Sini pulls ahead.
Yeah, I think he wanted to deny for a second. Wasn't able to save, but Archers, oh, good micro by Sini, who's... Oh, the reveal used from the lab. Okay, kind of forgot about that. Sini, who's able to hang with LawLiet so far.
Yeah, not bad at all thus far. Pretty much a purely mirrored early game, but then the early Naga exchange tends to go to the better player, but Sini shown to be the better player, at least in game 1 so far, but the strategies haven't been fully shown. He's getting +1 attack for the Archers, Dio. This is just straight up Archers. Classic.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, why not? Good unit. Very cheap. Doesn't give too much XP. Packs a punch. Naga's back, so it wasn't the end of the world. LawLiet supply blocked for a little bit, is following up now with a lore. And we've seen a lot of Archers into Bears quite a bit. Dryads get skipped most of the time. Can of course be a huge damage boost with Roar alone, and then put Reju on top. You might not even need the Bears for fighting, but rather as a support unit.
Yeah, even just the single lore, get 1 to 2 Bears, heal up the Demon Hunter at the start of the fight, roar the Archers at the start of the fight, and for Sini, it's going to be about not overproducing Talons, I would say. Maybe he just wants to get a couple of Talons just for the odd Cyclone, the odd Fairy Fire, of course, for the Focus Fire, but this could very well end up just being heavy Archers on both sides, but Dark Ranger for Sini, and that's actually a great answer to this amount of Archers. Didn't even think about that, but yeah, this is probably why we don't often see mass Archers as a response to Talons. Just because of Dark Ranger Naga, it's really easy to clean up those Archers.
Yeah, it's the one matchup where we see Life Drain in effect as the second spell. But of course, it's all about Black Arrow. Kill these low HP units, get the skeletons up, and then LawLiet needs at least a couple of wisps against that. Not going for a Dark Ranger himself could also be great for silencing the Talons, and of course Black Arrow works that way too, but rather goes for the second attack upgrade, Marksmanship, and the Support Bear.
I do wonder, though, if there was silence from the Dark Ranger, imagine it is heavy Archers, and you just think of how strong Immolation could be. against the
Ooh.
archers and against the talons. So if there is the Dark Ranger, you could always silence the immolation if that ends up being a retrain from LawLiet later on. But Mana Burn, of course, just seems to be too strong right now. And he's already got the orb for kind of the AoE-esque effect. And first big fight, 40 against 44. Master Training finishes perfectly on time for Sini.
Off we go. This is the big fight, but I wonder if LawLiet's army is up already. The bear is not part of this, but he's just clicking on the demon. And that's it. Dark Ranger staffed out, Demon Hunter staffed out, Fork Lightning rattling through, but in this fight, man, it feels like LawLiet is worlds ahead.
Yeah, the Wisps are there as well. The Naga is not there any longer, goes down. The Naga for LawLiet barely makes it out. Has a town portal, though, and she's going to need it eventually because of the boots on the Demon Hunter chasing her currently. But LawLiet could be just happy with this fight. He's got 2 heroes, though. Very low HP. That first bear that's coming in at that single lore is going to be a true blessing for LawLiet to be able to heal up his heroes. A couple more archers fall, but LawLiet 42 against 41 now. Sini maybe was looking to expand there, but is going to have to just think about reconsolidating now. That Naga 65 seconds, and we definitely need a potion of vulnerability for that Demon Hunter.
Oh, yeah. He still got Wisps ready for a possible detonate. Naga got killed, as you said. Dark Ranger's approaching level 3. 0.7 levels ahead on the Demon Hunter. That's quite impactful. Also, the Naga is ahead, even though she was dead in the mid-game, couldn't creep at all. And there's just more pressure from LawLiet, wants to close it out.
Mana burn into a couple of orb hits, and the Talon all of a sudden out of mana, out of health, and cannot heal any efficient way. Okay, first bears here. Heroes are relatively healthy now for LawLiet. For Sini, about the same. Naga back in 20 seconds. Definitely don't want to fight without that Naga for Sini. And LawLiet, is he just going to keep going forward? Is he going to expand behind this, or is he just going to keep pushing? He has Master Bear Training now. He has Wellspring finishing now, right before nighttime, I'll add. And the Wisps have been so well used so far for LawLiet.
Detonate by Sini, but only for a little bit of mana. Demon Hunter has nothing anymore. Cyclone comes in. Here are the Wisp of LawLiet, and he's so good at that! Not only against Orc, but also now in Mirror. But he has to be careful about that Dark Ranger staff. Was ready. Interesting. Either a mistake or letting her die deliberately to save the staff for another unit. But all of a sudden, Sini is taking a lead and fighting LawLiet back.
Yeah, it didn't seem like a good fight from LawLiet. He got nice detonates, and he did lower the mana on all the towns with a couple of mana burns, forcing some cyclones and getting the detonates, of course. But the fight was never going to be good, especially with that shot knock going down, especially with the positioning of Sini there. So Sini yet again kind of wins the fight, but LawLiet has the advantage of being able to recover from these fights a lot easier. He doesn't need to wait for too much mana before he can fight, and he, of course, doesn't need to heal up with just Moonwells, potions, and heal scrolls. He has the bears.
Okay, but will they be all up in the air? Mana is an issue for these talents. We're approaching the mercenary camps. Not allowed by LawLiet, though. Heroes are back. Dark Ranger really poor levels. Also, this army doesn't look too good. LawLiet and the apparent weakness against Chinese Night Elves. It's special. Look at the Naga just melting.
Oh, that is rough. The hero focus. He's just ignoring the army every time, and the damage is so sick. It seems like these heroes don't have much more health than an archer when they're being focused by Sini right now, but the archers find their way onto the talons, at least a couple of them. But all you need is the heroes if you're Sini. That's all you need, because the Demon Hunter's up in the air for LawLiet time and time again, and Sini might have a 1-0 advantage. It didn't seem likely for a while there, but LawLiet just sort of crumbles, the strat not working.
Man, Sini at this W3Champions Finals, it's something special. Nobody expected this performance out of him. Dark Ranger comes back, doesn't carry his staff, is cycloned as well. No TP, and that's a hero kill again. 4 and 3 levels. Now good luck fighting the level 2 Dark Minions whenever he skills it. LawLiet in dire straits, 10 supply down. Only the bears and the Dark Ranger fighting, but only for so long.
Talons are running dry on mana, but the heroes are still so healthy for Sini, it doesn't quite matter. LawLiet is actually staying in this game, maybe because he realizes healing is going to be difficult, but just look how fast the Dark Ranger dies with the Fairy Fire. And the Orb and the Demon Hunter. It is just insane. That's just a crazy amount of damage. You see how much damage that right-clicked into the Dark Ranger. This is an agility hero, too. And that's all 3 heroes dead for LawLiet.
Unbelievable. A triple wipe. Naga is back, all right, but still missing the Demon Hunter, the big carry. Twice the supply for the underdog. What an exclamation mark. I guess we all ruled it out almost that Sini has another impressive performance here, but he proves us all wrong.
I like the orb in the back. It's quite nice. This is LawLiet's wheelhouse kind of defending in his base, and Sini might be realizing it, but Sini is expanding. That's all he really needs to do. He just needs to contain, maybe get... there's not really much left to creep. Maybe the top left. The red camp obviously going to be hard to do with talons, and when you can't heal up too easily, not really the best strat to creep that. But yeah, Sini just has to get this expo up, and then he's probably secured this game. LawLiet, if he manages to come back in this game, he's 3-0ing. I'll just say that.
Okay, there's an expansion coming up for Sini. And a 13 supply lead and a hero lead. We got heal scrolls. Maybe an invo potion would be good as well. But man, Cyclone, that was what scares you, kill the rest. Simple as that. Archers down, skeletons raised. This whole army should be purged. It absolutely is. The Dark Ranger behind enemy lines needs a staff, but it's still almost 100 seconds on the Demon Hunter. Can't go to the tavern, doesn't have the resources for it, and Sini is just blowing through this base. Wins map number 1. Upset accomplished.
Great game by Sini and LawLiet. We all had him pegged as the big favorite, but somehow Sini in the end there making it rather decisively. I think 2 mistakes stand out to me from LawLiet. First of all, didn't abuse the anti-magic potion enough. That's normally super good against talents, something that doesn't do much on the other side. But he only used it once, and then he detonated in the last fight, or the last big fight, with his own wisp. Bit of a mechanical error. And speaking of wisps, I think he was trying to get a bit too fancy with the big detonates. I think when you take those fights against talents, you just right-click on the Demon Hunter with the wisps, like 3 or 4 wisps, and whenever there's a Cyclone, Dispel. Cyclone, Dispel. Cyclone, Dispel. He did that, kind of, but it could have been a lot faster. This Demon Hunter was trapped in the air for quite a long time.
Our Korean fan favorite has some catching up to do, if you ask me. Can play a lot cleaner. There's, of course, a lot more possibilities in Night Elf Mirror. But all kudos to Sini. I guess nobody expected that. And let's see if he can get 2 in a row. Is he as dominant against the Korean Night Elf as he was against Soen, the Korean Orc? Last Refuge is our next map.
All right, very, very scary for LawLiet to lose map 1, especially even if you win, if you have to go up against Happy. Losing map 1 here, being the big favorite, is a scary, scary premise. But map number 2, very, very doable. Sini did throw perhaps a little bit of a curveball, not going for bears on Amazonia, which is just so standard. We thought for sure it was going to be a bear mirror. But Last Refuge, it's also kind of the same story. You would expect a bear mirror if it's double Demon Hunter, but Sini maybe again with something up his sleeve.
Okay, interesting situation. Last Refuge is oftentimes a range-dominated map, but we could also go for bears and base races. Let's see what they feel comfortable as. Bottom left-hand side in the yellow is LawLiet. Upper right-hand side in the blue is Sini. So what the hero choice is it the Demon Hunter again? Must almost set in stone, I'd say. Demon Hunter, Demon Hunter.
Yeah, you can go for the cheeky Potom Archer strat on this map, but I don't really know if that's used too much outside of Europe any longer. Moon used to use it quite a bit, but nowadays Demon Hunter just seems so strong. Especially if you go Potom into Demon Hunter nowadays, I guess you just go Immolation. Especially if you go Potom Archers, you just go Immolation, and you probably just win the game right there. So don't think that strat's going to work any longer, unless it's maybe a Potom Mirror or versus Keeper, which probably not going to see Keeper too much in Night Elf Mirror any longer. So maybe that strat is just gone. That's a sad day. I like that strat.
Okay, second chance for LawLiet to win a map here. Maybe he just needed some warm-up time. But man, he can't go down 0-2. That is almost impossible in a mirror match when you're not feeling that comfortable. But alright. Sini, let's see what these items are. First it was claws versus ring. Now we get gloves. Not perfect. But yeah, I expect a rather slow early game into an explosive late game.
Alright, Immo for both players. LawLiet is a lot faster. Sini used Immolation to kill those trappers initially, but LawLiet just ran straight over. This is the better way to do it, what LawLiet's doing. He could keep Immolation on and just move over to the next camp. I don't actually know. I guess people are still working out if it's efficient to keep Immolation on in between camps or just to toggle it on and off and use the extra mana. Someone's going to do the math eventually, but he's got to wait for the Archer. And actually, Sini goes for a slightly different creep route. And again, I would say a slightly less efficient creep route because he doesn't have evasion as early as LawLiet.
True, level 2 is missing a little bit. One of illusion on both sides. That's a lot of scouting, obviously. So yeah, this is the Knight of Mirror that we love between LawLiet and Colorful. Might result in a 2-1-1 build down the road. And first, it's creeping.
Sini actually going for mana burn too, and there's the expansion that I mentioned in the first game. There's a possibility. Demon Hunter fast expansion, in at least Demon Hunter Mirror, is pretty common. Back when Terranus Stand was a common map of the pool, we used to see this all the time, but less and less common the further down the line we get. But still, I like this, especially when you know your opponent is going to be power creeping, and especially know when your opponent is going to be low on Moonwells and not able to pressure as much.
Yeah, 100%, man. LawLiet will need a lot of moon juice. And Sini just keeps on creeping. We'll figure this out. How many Moonwells we got? This is number 4 for LawLiet. He will be down in juice. Oh boy, also the creep's woken up. I really like Sini's play, man. This is working beautifully.
Scouting, but I don't think LawLiet knows about the Expo yet. He's used his Wisp quite actively early on, but then kind of slowed down. This Demon Hunter getting a ton more experience, and of course that Priest for Sini is so impactful just to heal up that Demon Hunter so you can get full mana and full health. LawLiet probably going to keep creeping. Yeah, goes for the shop. Greater heal, or even maybe greater mana. One of mana stealing actually would be pretty sick. I think all the items here are quite good though, weirdly enough.
Yeah, and it is the big healer. Big mana can make a big difference, as we've seen against Colorful. Expansion by Sini, no expansion by LawLiet. Big strategic differences between the two now. LawLiet has the slower attack, but a bigger army. And Sini controls the tavern once again.
Greater heal might come into play now. Tier 2 almost done. Demon Hunter goes forward. No mana for Immolation at all. But there is mana for a mana burn on Sini, and actually just gets hugely ahead in this exchange, just killing the Naga straight up.
What
and the Demon Hunter's going to have to use that greater heal now, too.
Unbelievable performance by Sini thus far. Berserker falls alright, and the Shadow Priest as well. So maybe this was even worth it if he gets the Demon Hunter out safely. But only now it's the big heal potion. He can't keep on fighting.
That expansion, of course, to the back of this. Something that LawLiet is assuming. I mean, he knows the tech timing was exactly the same for Sini because the Naga came out at the same time as his. But does he know about the expansion? I mean, he should just know. You assume someone like LawLiet just knows these things. He's got a Wisp nearby, but he hasn't actually physically scouted it yet. He's going to see the tier 3 tech now for Sini, and then eventually it will be Talons if he can get up there. But for now, it's just going to be 2 base against 1 and a dead Naga.
Sini got Mercenaries, an expansion, and is even on tech.
Yeah.
How's that possible?
I actually don't know. I didn't think the tech was going to be even, but I suppose he teched and then expoed. And now he's delaying the wins. That's the difference maker. LawLiet has 1 wind on the way. Sini has none. LawLiet will probably have, well, could have had the second wind as well before Sini had any.
Level 2 mana burn against the 1-1-1 build of LawLiet. Is evasion really that necessary at this stage of the game? If he wants to tank with a demon, it's of course helpful. More creeping off to level 4. And same on the other side. But yeah, Sini, this is win condition. And he's mining now.
Both players creeping up so fast. And there's just pretty much a Merc camp at the bottom side for LawLiet. And then we'll have to go further out of the map into the corners, the Red Camp and the Turtles. And there's Ancient of Wonders. What the hell is that Ancient? You would think LawLiet would know that you can't build Ancient Wonders there. You would think you would just know that, but apparently another mistake for LawLiet.
Okay, this is definitely a little more flawed than the games yesterday. Double Claw sells the Wand of Mana Stealing, is Sini. Remo probably furiously screaming across minds how that is even possible.
He's got so much gold too, I don't know why he'd sell it. Like, he could still afford double heal scroll, potion of vulnerability, and units, and not have sold that. But more creeping. They're just creeping up the whole map. We're gonna be at like the 9-minute mark with the entire map prepped out. This is insanely fast.
Yeah, that's what Immolation does to you, mate. Maybe this Cell of the Wind of Mana thing was just an old habit, who knows. Ancient Jungle for LawLiet, level 3 Naga around the corner. But Sini wants to distract a little bit and finds this Engine of War again. This means no orb, no staff for LawLiet, and almost gives the position away.
Again, the shop gets canceled. That shop, pretty important for potions. Pretty important to get that staff while you're still in the fight. If not, obviously, you have to go all the way back home, buy it, and then move back in. So being able to buy the staff while you're actually in the fight is good. And this is the timing. Can LawLiet break the expansion? Can he at least kill the gold mine? Similar situation to Undead vs. Night Elf, when you just try to kill the gold mine, delay the mining, and then just continuously kite. Tinker third, and yeah, LawLiet's got to do something serious here.
Sini with Muddy. Our mascot also knew... Oh, he got all of the mercenary camp. Big expenses for Sini. Very committed to holding this expansion. I wonder what this Tinker will do against level 2 mana burn. Definitely not too much.
Will just be free experience, but at least soaks up some damage. Ogre Mauler doing the same pretty much, but the Tinker goes down, Ogre Mauler goes down. About an even exchange in experience, but the Naga gets past the town portal. And Sini holds just from pure hero focus.
Yeah, this entire series is just clicking on the heroes, and it works.
Moonwell's nearly dry. Do we have it? Okay, we still have heal wards, but it would have taken way too long for LawLiet to actually heal up the Naga with that. So forced to use the last remaining moon juice. Heal scroll probably necessary. I'm wondering, does he sell the endurance aura? Like, he needs scrolls, he needs potions.
Goes for an invuln. Also, staffs would be phenomenal. But yeah, potions it is. Keeps the endurance aura. He values the movement speed. And now Sini... Unlike some. Now Sini is a little out of position. No TP anymore. Big chance for LawLiet to do damage against the Expo.
And LawLiet has the more efficient army because he doesn't have those mercenaries. And he doesn't have that many wisps as well. Worth noting. And this is what LawLiet needs to do. He's trying to kill the gold mine. He's delaying some of the wisp mining, of course, with the Demon Hunter. How long can he tank in the front? I love that heal warp position. Very, very nice. But detonated. That's a nice response.
Ooh, awesome. Immolation online because the mana burn of Sini was faster than the one of LawLiet. But the Chinese has to retreat a little bit. This is time for the Clockworks to work. They do guaranteed damage, of course. How do you heal the Demon Hunter back up is another question. Maybe time for a second heal ward? Absolutely is.
Not using it on the Demon Hunter, though. He's running to the shop with the Demon Hunter instead of healing up and buying potions with the Tinker. I'm surprised. It gets Orb of Venom now. A huge upgrade, but he sacrifices a couple of units in purchasing that. Level 3 of the Naga for LawLiet. That Mud Golem, so much value. Hasn't died yet.
Love the play by Sini. He's playing this really, really well. If he can keep the Demon Hunter alive, that's supposed to be his game, I guess. Expo is working off and paying dividends now. It's the Demon Hunter that's supposed to rule this. Talent false. Okay, hero focus, Night Elf Mirror. Off we go. If there is staff, there absolutely is. And the Demon Hunter...
Potion!
Potion lost second. Is it enough, though? Muddy still doing work. That's the oldest Muddy I've seen in a long time. And this attack doesn't work again.
This is looking like 2-0. I don't think LawLiet can sustain this any longer. All 3 heroes are low. He would love to have one more heal ward, but even if he did, he wouldn't be able to break this expansion any longer. Another potion, more focus fire, but the Mud Golem value, Neo.
Unbelievable. Never had a Muddy that much impact except the one that Kevin Schwem bought against Joker in ESL Meisterschaft. But LawLiet is not giving this up. 20 food down. Game. Okay, he is giving this up. Sini 2-0.
Dude, the Sini miracle continues. What is going on? We keep counting him out. He keeps winning. We've only ever had one Night Elf champion in W3Champions. Dude, imagine if Sini is the second one. This is, yeah. Who the hell thought this, guys?
3 match points in a mirror match where you look more or less flawless today. Sini, that's his best performance ever.
For sure, yeah. And I mean, LawLiet hasn't had any answers. Like, Sini's been the more proactive one strategically. He's also been getting ahead in he won the Naga exchange in both maps. and he's won pretty much every fight in both maps. In every category, he's been ahead so far. But going into Twisted Meadows for map 3, LawLiet, can he show us something different? Can he show us some proactivity? Is that a word? I think so.
Oh, man. The everlasting vice champion of DreamHack, Raraland, and also W3Champions Season 11, up against the ropes. 3 wins necessary against the surprise of the tournament, man. Sini, what's even his elo rank? Is he even in the top 20? Oh yeah, he's
Gotta be around there.
Top 12 after his last week's performance, but yeah, standout performance by Sini. Can he do it one more time? He got 3 chances to go into the grand final. That would probably also be his biggest earnings ever. Just one more for Sini.
And 2 3-0s would be a surprise. Maybe not in the first series, but certainly in this series. Even though we thought that LawLiet was going to be the favorite, I definitely thought this was going to go all 5 games. So we'll see. Can LawLiet get the reverse sweep, or at least the potential reverse sweep? Demon Hunter made it for the 3rd time in a row. And of course, with the forced cross spawn on Twisted Meadows, it's going to be a mercenary camp creep for both. That does open things up to fast expansion to play again. That's why we see that strategy on Terranus Stand in the past, on Last Refuge, that Demon Hunter Fast Expo. Because of the mercenary support, you can hold the expansion like we saw, and you get that priest early on. So you have a bit more sustain and a bit more presence in the early tier 2 stage. So keep your eyes open at the 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock for those Trees of Life.
Damn, Sini definitely ready for this meta. In the meantime, we have the chance to thank our supporters. Thank you, Rev Reborn, for the gifted sub to our FFA champion Neutron, Jay Celerex with the gifted sub, Randius, and Kier for the 2-year resub. Fantastic support from you guys. Thank you. And now we approach the mercenary camp.
Yeah, that was cool from Sini. He put his scout wisp on a specific tree, knowing that both players were gonna pull the merc camp, of course. That's standard, so the rock golem does not throw the boulders any longer. He put his wisp on a specific tree that aggroed the creeps, and then the pull was not successful for LawLiet. So he takes a little bit extra damage. With Immolation, doesn't really do too much. It was only 1 extra boulder, but still a nice little detail. Is it worth a wisp? I don't know, but it could have been.
These items are quite crazy. Big mana potion for Sini, lots of immolation, also bigger mana pool with a mantle that you can always drop for more efficient regeneration at Moonwells. On the other side, Wand of Mana Stealing to get a little bit more mana himself, and Slippers for more right click. We have a Shadow Priest to heal up, so Moonwell efficiency for Sini should be top notch.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be quite the luxury in the early game. Immolation creeping continues. Wouldn't be surprised to see these guys actually creep a shop straight up. They're going to have a Berserker soon, and they could just go for it, but it would be very costly. Wisp scouts for Sini where the Demon Hunter is, and LawLiet clearing for expansions at least at the 12 o'clock, but he hasn't cleared out at the 9 o'clock position yet, where there is a Wisp for Sini, and Tech for both players, but expansion after Tech was to play last game. Could be this game again.
A very, very different map, of course. Very macro heavy instead of the constant fighting that we've seen in Amazonia and Last Refuge. Who's doing more damage? Tier 2 is far away. We just burn each other. But Sini with the big mana potion, man. What can you do against it?
Again, another exchange going towards Sini. Another time LawLiet has to back away. And LawLiet, oh, actually split creeping with the Berserker in the Ancient Award. Don't mind that, but Sini might be able to find the creeping.
Stressful Cloak of Shadows on the ground, but he's blocked by his own tree. Sini not realizing that. Little bit of a lucky break for LawLiet. And now he's flashy once again. Oh, man. What a series, what a game. Sini also creeping at the same time with the Ancient of War. A little safer, though.
Last hit from Sini, and the cloak not needing to be used. Of course, Immolation could have been used if it was a hidden Demon Hunter. Tree of Life at the 9 o'clock. The one position that wasn't scouted. Notice the Wisp at the 12 o'clock for LawLiet right now. Sini not going for the, I suppose, more telegraphed expansion because it's a safer position. Given force cross spawn. So Sini, again, with the upper hand in every department. More proactive on the strategy. Better exchanges in the late early game, let's say. And again, getting a creep jack.
Uh-oh. Dude, Question, did we ever had a Chinese grand finalist in War3Champions? Wasn't there this curse?
I don't think so, yeah. Like Fly played one time, but he got destroyed. I remember the Turtle Rock game. And that would have been the only person probably that would have made it close. I don't remember, though.
I think
definitely not.
Colorful and Kaho made top 3 and top 4 runs. But maybe Remo can double check that for us. Dude, imagine the first Chinese grand finalist is Sini.
Yeah. After all the talent we've had. Although it wouldn't be the most uncommon thing. We had Labyrinth, of course, last season, which was another underdog story. And again, LawLiet not getting the upper hand in this exchange, but the Cloak of Shadows helping him to do so. But now the Demon Hunter is the target of focus. Naga comes out of the shadows to slow down the Demon Hunter, but with the boots of speed, Sini should be safe. And the question is, who needs to use more Moon Juice? And also, when will LawLiet scout that expansion?
I think he did. There's a Wisp right next to it.
Okay, gotcha.
So he knows, and he's positioning himself to go further to the left-hand side, but his heroes are so low he can't push. I mean, there's no immediate urgency, as there's no mining, and the camp is still there. But LawLiet seemingly stick... Okay, there's the counter expansion. I see, on the right-hand side.
Naga gonna be forced into the shadows again. Potentially just goes for the priest. That's a lot of experience to be gained if it not denied, and obviously it can't be with that amount of damage from the claws and the immolation. Naga goes to the 9 o'clock to start creeping that expansion up. Wisp sees this, but LawLiet, of course, cannot do anything about this. Staff of Teleportation might allow the Demon Hunter to go over to the right side of the map and find that Tree of Life. I mean, if LawLiet is not pushing, Sini must know there's going to be a counter expansion.
Finds the Ring of Protection +4 in this matchup. Might be one of the best, because that negates the Fairy Fire minus armor. And that is something we've seen throughout the entire game. Step out now, no Fork Lightning available. Lore stays up, okay. This is probably the best situation for LawLiet out of all 3 games so far.
For sure, yeah. He's going to be on relatively even playing field soon. But the economy is going to be, let's say, an extra 900 gold, maybe 1,000 gold for Sini from that expansion, which can make a world of difference. And it's going to be Talons against Bears, so it's going to be lopsided in more than one way. But LawLiet should have all the information he needs to react accordingly.
So far throughout the entire series, Sini just owning. LawLiet finding his groove, maybe. Expo about to be up, proactively creeping this. Crystal Ball on Twisted. I always like it. Where did the scan go? Into the main.
It confirms the Talons and confirms the tech timing, confirms that it is redone, and he can check that Talon quickly to make sure that it's not Master Training, which he should know that it isn't. It's only the 8-minute mark. You normally don't have Master Train until about the 9-minute mark. So LawLiet gets more and more information, and his tree starts moving over. No Nature's Blessing, of course, so gonna take a little while, but still LawLiet gonna have one advantage, and that's, of course, the healing department. He's gonna have Bears.
I don't know if I like it too much. These Bears just seem to melt against everything there is. Needs to play it careful. LawLiet continues creeping, so does Sini. Might just even see another expansion if he wants to play with that advantage over the Magi. A little bit more damage for the Naga, who will be packing a punch. We're approaching double level 3 territory and also tier 3 territory, which might unlock a 3rd hero. I doubt we're gonna see the Tinker once again, but what we see is an AP on the left-hand side.
Yeah, preparing for a push, potentially, and not seen by the Ancient of War, although I think he has enough vision for it. And by the way, just really heavy Dryads so far from LawLiet. Not building any Bears just for the healing, if anything. Maybe just going to go straight into Mountain Giants. He's got the Shredder. He's 50 supply Dryads. He could get both upgrades and then just go into upkeep with pure Mountain Giant. And Sini's not going to have a good army against this.
Creepcraft continues. We get a keep a 3rd for Sini. I'm not 100% sure what that's supposed to accomplish.
A player's forces are under attack.
I guess just more hero focus. He's been a fan of that.
It's true, very true.
Definitely not good against the Dryads, though. A decent orb carrier. Hard to say what would have been better than a keeper. Just to throw an orb on him. And that AP, oh, that AP is so nice. I don't know if Sini can hold this without hero focus. That's all he can do.
He has no TP. Keeper is an orb carry, you said it. This Ancient of War was buying some time, but will Sini be in time? Double level up to 4 and 3, 2 hero push, and you were right on the money as so often. Resistance skin, Mountain Giants coming.
Okay, orb poking, doing a little bit of damage. Ooh, Fairy Dragons coming in. Knows he needs some piercing damage. You can't just build talons, you need archers, you need piercing damage. Maybe another Berserker could be purchased as well. If it's off cooldown for Sini. LawLiet slowly but surely breaking this expansion. Importantly, Sini's not mining right now.
Very nice exchange so far for the favorite, who's down 2-0. Another expansion coming for LawLiet at the 6 o'clock. So even if he's not breaking this expansion, it looks like he does, he still might have an economy advantage. Here's the Cyclone, Sini engaging onto the Demon Hunter, zaps him! That's the kill right there! What a start into the fight for LawLiet.
Yeah, he had the staff, but he waited and the Fork Lightning came in. It is level 2 Fork Lightning. Maybe Sini didn't calculate that, and now all of a sudden the Cyclone is good, so there's pretty much no Demon Hunter on either side, but every time that Demon Hunter lands, every time there's an Abolish, he does so much damage in that AP. Pretty much unbreakable. The Dryads have been bruised, but the GG is called, and LawLiet finally has something go his way.
That took some time.
Scary for LawLiet again, but strong comeback.
Yeah, that was a nice timing. That felt like he was more comfortable, knew how to approach the Sini play. Early game, once again, looked a little shaky up until the mid game, but then he figured it out.
Yeah, that maybe is going to be the weirdest map with how the early games go and the expansions and all that. But going into what was that? Autumn Leaves from map number 4 could be a little bit more standard. It's a one mercenary camp map, but still a map where you could pull those with the Archer and the Wisp. That could be a play we definitely see have a lot of value on Autumn Leaves.
$5,425 on the line. You guys keep on purchasing the profile pictures who are only available today. So thank you, Laxon, and also Großmaul, buying human and orc pictures. We're still approaching the 5,500, everybody. Go chip in if you can. This is much appreciated, as well as the performance of our gamers here. Happy is waiting in the grand final. Sini is one map away. Is it the same syndrome that Foggy bit yesterday, and he's so close to victory, so close to causing an upset, and then falling apart? Can he keep his nerves together now after the loss? Is I think the biggest question for Sini.
Yeah, he didn't show too many mistakes last game. He seemed in pretty good control. I just think it was a good counter by LawLiet. Of course, the Demon Hunter falling. Yeah, but the expansion was dead pretty much no matter what there, and then the game was probably over with that third base coming up for LawLiet as well. So I don't think it was too many errors from Sini. I think LawLiet just sort of found his stride and found a good counter to the strategy, and he was given a little bit of extra space. So we'll see if Sini truly falls apart on Autumn Leaves.
Away we go. Demon Hunter mirror once again. Ancient of War positions also mirrored. We got LawLiet in the blue, bottom left-hand side. Sini upper right in the yellow. And so far, both are doing the exact same things.
Yeah, Sini went for a slightly earlier Ancient of War with an immediate Wisp. That just helps against a potential Wisp pull. Build the shop, cancel the Ancient of War. LawLiet does that pretty often, whereas LawLiet was at risk of getting his canceled by a similar play. The player going for it, though. They just want to creep up their Demon Hunters, and this is yet another map where we could see a lot of creeping in the early game.
Yeah, 100%. It's relatively easy to do, and then we fight on level 3 in the mid-game early. By now, I think, like, this is the craziest creeping I've seen since the Crypt Lord days.
Yeah.
Always with the downside of not having mana and needing more Moonwells, but Night Elves were quick to adjust. Just build one more Moonwell and then you're fine.
Yeah, and the weakness of Night Elf has always been, like, you imagine a world without Immolation where Night Elf doesn't Ancient of War creep. Night Elf is by far the worst race, like, without a doubt, without Ancient of War creeping. And just because of how Moonwells work in the early game and your limited resources and healing. But nowadays with Immolation, with the speed in which you can creep without that Ancient of War, actually makes Night Elf quite a bit stronger.
Fantastic items for both. Double circlet for Sini, circlet claws for LawLiet. And so far, it's very peaceful game. Except if you're on the side of the creeps, then what can you do? Double claw for LawLiet, ring of protection for Sini once again. I like that. Is it the talent play once again, or does Sini have another trick up his sleeve? Expansion also very doable here on this map.
Yeah, both players going to creep, set expansion. This time around, Sini a little bit faster because LawLiet chose to heal up. Maybe LawLiet chose to heal up because he wants to creep this and then go straight cross map to potentially cancel an early Tree of Life. That would be a nice little detail because, of course, looking at Sini's Demon Hunter, he's got to go back home to heal before moving across the map aggressively at all. And keep an eye on that mercenary camp. Wouldn't be surprised to see both players maybe go for the mercenaries. And LawLiet actually goes back to heal, so Sini is more efficient here overall. Maybe not with the items, but with when he chose to go back to heal.
Supply numbers very even, movement very even. We even have, like, at the mercenary camp, we had 2 wisps there at the same time, checking this out. And Sini is ready for the tavern. Boots available on the Chinese side. Not for LawLiet. Will he expect these archers to be here?
And they're very well spread out as well. Could go for a nice block if the Demon Hunter overextends. And both players just chilling like villains, waiting for their Nagas, which will be a little bit quicker for LawLiet. It seems like he's got a slight edge on the tech by just a couple of seconds, which can, of course, make the difference. Sini goes back to top off his Demon Hunter and prepare for tier 2. No expansion yet for either player, and that probably means no expansion at all for either player, perhaps.
Oh, all right. LawLiet now also with the boots. Very important to keep the Naga alive. We have, whoa, a little bit of miss micro with that archer, but no harm, no foul. Okay, 5 seconds, and then it's Naga time. LawLiet's position a lot better.
Yep, in 5 seconds now for Sini, but LawLiet gets it first, and LawLiet, is he just going to go and creep right away? What is he going to do with this slight advantage? Seems like he's just going to go look to get his Overseer consumable. He can make a world of difference, as we saw the Greater Heal on Last Refuge do. And Sini going to go forward. He doesn't realize it, but he could just straight up creep this Merc camp if he wanted.
Exactly. A little hesitant here. Expecting a trap. But no, LawLiet just creeping the consumable, which is of course very fast. Greater healing, wonderful once again. And he's more conservative with mana burn now. And going for the 1-1-1 build once again while Sini is up with the 100 mana burn. I still think this is better what Sini is doing with the Demon Hunter skills.
Yeah, I think the mana burn can make a big difference, whereas evasion hasn't made a big difference. LawLiet has lost more heroes than Sini so far this series, and he's been the one prioritizing evasion. And yeah, this is really nice from LawLiet. The fact that he will go straight over that Null Overseer, and Sini doesn't realize it, doesn't have the Wisp in position to scout where the army moves, means that LawLiet gets that camp and then comes back in time to creepjack what was a sheepish Sini in the early tier 2 stage.
We got talents once again for the Chinese. Now we have a brawl, immolation enabled by Sini. This is a lot of moon juice. LawLiet was burned again. Oh, Naga falls! The potion was passed, but he couldn't use it! Is this Sini's fight for the grand final? Big advantage now.
Yeah, that's very rough. And the Staff of Preservation was on the Naga. So many items could have been swapped over there, and the LawLiet would have ended up super ahead because then he would have forced the DH back and been able to creep one of these 2 camps in the middle. But for now, Sini heals up, and now Sini is going to be the one that's able to get either the lab or the Merc camp. It has to happen now if it's going to happen.
So much time for him now. LawLiet, how can you stay competitive without your heroes around? He's shocking for reinforcements in the meantime. Demon Hunter burning again. Good save with the block. Oh, might just lose both though.
There would, of course, be a reveal. These players seem to hate dust, though, despite having a shop and despite creeping the shop earlier.
Ooh, this Demon Hunter has nothing.
Ooh, gotta be careful. The staff is on the Naga, so we would be able to save it. The Naga, of course, back very quickly. Moonwell's all over the place for LawLiet, but still have a little bit of juice as daytime hits.
Sini has a big advantage. Door to the grand final is open. LawLiet needs a big fight. They both go for talents again. But Sini is a lot faster, also with the tier 3.
And that'll mean probably Dark Ranger yet again. And then that'll mean earlier Orb, which can make a world of difference. The talent's not even that big of a deal. It's really just that Orb, that triple hero, and that tempo, which is in Sini's hands now. LawLiet backs up, but not a lot of Moonwells. Okay, LawLiet does have the Orb first, so big difference.
Exactly. Will that be the orb that brings him back into this game? Demon Hunter exchanges constantly out of mana as LawLiet. Has the big potion, must commit it. There we go. And it's just hero focus. Just hero focus. But LawLiet, the small potion is on cooldown, of course, if you use the big one. Whew, that was an important save. Demon Hunter for Sini out of the fight, but Dark Ranger's online instead.
Oh, Demon Hunter's got to be so careful. It seems like he's got a lot of health, but it's only level 1 evasion with Fairy Fire on him. Die immediately, pretty much. And Sini manages to top off his Demon Hunter, but that's nearly the last of the Moonwells. And for LawLiet, he's got, what, about a 60 Moon Juice advantage, which can make a world of difference.
Master training almost done for Sini, started by LawLiet. An exact mirror match when it comes to heroes and units now. Just that Sini already has the talents on the map. Hero inventory. Hard to say who's this better for. Sini is more tanky, LawLiet packs more punch.
Yeah, I would say, weirdly enough, Sini with that ring and with the gauntlets and the circlet. LawLiet, of course, bought one circlet as well. But the claws are nice, but they might even be better on the Naga at this stage and maybe try to buy another circlet on that Demon Hunter or something like that, because it's all about the tankiness on this front line.
LawLiet is trying to stall time. In the meantime, Sini is soaking up the middle. Only the little green spots available for the Korean who's pulling back the shop. I like that. Be a little more safe with that. And also natural expansion creep. While the entire middle is going to Sini. One of the wind, of course, not that big of an impact. Sells it for more gold. But this one is big.
Yeah, LawLiet playing really defensive, perhaps realizing he was out of juice. Even though both players were, LawLiet was the first to sort of crack under the pressure and play a bit defensive. Crystal Ball, not really what you need here.
Food of accuracy is what you need, though.
Ooh, not bad at all.
It's only +1 on all the units, but it's a lot of units and also benefits the Naga and the Dark Ranger, of course. Invo Potion ready for the hero focus that's incoming. Expansion by Sini. He feels very comfortable with the supply lead and with the experience lead. LawLiet sees it, removes the Wisp from the tree, and maybe another AP push.
Yeah, it could be hiding one. Would need to get that Hunter's Hall, of course, but might be necessary for marksmanship and Wellspring eventually anyway. And Wisp will go down at the lab, reveal with that Crystal Ball, going to show the movement and show the fact that there's no town portal, but there is 2 heal scrolls, Potion of Vulnerability. LawLiet, is he ready to fight yet? He doesn't have a single heal scroll.
He also has no town portal. This big damage for Sini in the base. Okay, Moonwell about to be going down. He can't get up to 50 if this one falls, but okay, backstab. Sini has no town portal either. Is this the fight for the Chinese Grand Final?
Oh, nice silence at the start, but the Mana Burn comes in. Both Demon Hunters up in the air for the time being. A lot of Talons getting focused down on the side of Sini right now, but the Skeletons are piling up and the Archers are falling. A lot of dead units. Both players are going to end up with just heroes. The question is who's going to have the healthier heroes. The Naga about to fall, but Mana Shield not too bad, and Mana Flare in the back of the Fairy Dragons coming in.
Oh, exactly. Fairy Fire, Fairy Dragons added to the mix. Supply is pretty even. Dark Ranger! Another hero kill for Sini. It was a strategy all along since game 1, and he succeeds once more. So far, LawLiet is holding the ground, but Sini has an expansion on the back of this. Hero level advantage for Sini, supply advantage for Sini. Everything in his favor. LawLiet needs half a miracle now.
Yeah, this is tough for LawLiet. Can he heal up? He's got the shop to his back. That's a huge advantage. Sini has to go all the way back just to get potions, and but both heal scrolls were used. That's 500 gold invested. But the expansion, as you mentioned, already going to be mining by the time LawLiet even finishes. It's going to be yet another, 600 gold advantage for Sini, as though he needs it right now. Up by 7 supply and gets potions himself. LawLiet stays defensive, but Sini knows this because Fairy Fire on the Demon Hunter.
All right, this is super interesting now. No silence on Sini, of course. He doesn't really need it. That means LawLiet has no life drain and no fork lightning. This is a super unique build. 1/1/1 the demon. And then Naga and Dark Ranger on top of it. But yeah, Sini, with this advantage, he wants to end it now, right? He wants to take the next step, not giving LawLiet an inch, not the opportunity to come back. And there's again no town portal.
LawLiet going for the next consumable. Could this be a big potion of vulnerability? Could this be a greater heal?
Dark Ranger.
Could make a huge difference. The Dark Ranger is just dead, I guess.
I think so too. Sacrifices her for the creep spot. Not living a happy life.
Gets a greater heal, though. Could make a difference on the Demon Hunter, who's very, very tanky at this stage. If both players focus the Demon Hunters, LawLiet will end up ahead if the items are used correctly. So we'll see if that's the play.
Fairy fight. This one not really deployed. Instant kill. Can't use too many units. Who has more Cyclone? Who plays it better? Level 2 Fork Lightning available now. That zap will be big. And so is the Fairy. LawLiet now level 3 as well. Can't really go for a 1-1-1 build again, is he? And there goes the Naga. Almost. Only for the potion. Sini inches away from the grand final. LawLiet stepping against the defeat. But what can he possibly do?
The Fairy Dragons in the back allowed the Demon Hunter to consistently do Immolation for LawLiet, but that's pretty much all he has going for him is the Immolation, and the Cyclone comes in. The Mana Flare was used not correctly, and the Naga is going to die. Yeah, this is Sini's game. It has to be, right?
Absolutely. How can this go wrong with a 10 food advantage? LawLiet with the last Invo Potion kills another Hippo Rider. Alright, but that will not decide the game. Not at all. Fight is a little bit all over the place, but the kills are just going for LawLiet. The Naga is in trouble. There's no staff at all. Another mana shield, but this will just prolong the inevitable, or isn't it? Exactly, that's it. 15 supply leads, Cyclone for days, try, hero, kill, and the big favorite in the bottom part of the bracket gets killed once again. Sini in the grand final. Can you believe it? There's no way out.
Yeah, he's already thinking about what he's going to do against Happy. Guaranteed the expansion's going to die. He can even go back to get a heal scroll, which I believe is what he's going to do with the now level 3.3 Dark Ranger. LawLiet is going to try his best. He taps back to Demon Hunter. Gets it one shot. He has been holding out pretty much the last unit, remembering back to last refuge earlier, but this one's got to be over unless Sini makes a huge error. There's no way he loses this one.
Without the Naga, how can you even hero focus? Sini pushing forward, anti-magic, it's up to the Demon Hunter now. Level 2 mana burn, finally that lacking spell kicked him twice. Heal scroll available, everything back up to green, and more heroes high up in the air. The fairies untouched. We see Crow form against the fairies, of course. That's a nice touch.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Pretty cool. Can kill those quite quickly. The Dark Ranger gets away, but how is she going to heal? The Naga, all right, push of vulnerability passed over. Surprised that Sini hasn't been focusing on this Demon Hunter a bit more. He's just been allowing it. There's the potion. There's a staff on the Dark Ranger. Needs to use it. Does. But again, how do you heal up these heroes?
We're narrowing the supply gap. Oh, no, okay, that's it. GG! LawLiet eliminated in the semifinals. Sini with the 3-1, eliminating Soin, Hitman, and now LawLiet. The tournament of his life. And now he's in a best of 7 versus Happy for the championship. Remo's muted.
Rimademo.
Oh yeah, Sini man. What's going on? Grand final for him? When we see that before? Probably never. Sini coming into his own here. We didn't think he would beat Soen. Didn't think he would beat Hitman. Didn't think he would beat LawLiet. Now going up against the big man himself. Grand final against Happy, the first Chinese ever to make it there in a third place match between our two Koreans.
Like, to be honest, nobody expected that. All brackets are ruined. As casters, you always say, oh, he's a dark horse, he might have a chance, da 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 da. If we're all honest, nobody even believed he stands the slightest chance against LawLiet.
Nope, not at all. Not at all. Thought it was going to be 3-0, 3-0 today, but I mean, we kind of get close to that result, but just one of those results goes in a completely different direction. Is the grand finals going to go in a different direction? Because kind of the same story, right? We think LawLiet's just going to stomp Sini. Now we're all thinking it. We think Happy's probably going to stomp Sini, but will he surprise us yet again? Another matchup we have not seen him play in this tournament. And, his verse Night Elf looked better than his verse Orc even. So we'll see if his verse Undead is perhaps his best matchup overall.
Unbelievable. Man, this Sini guy keeps on impressing. I wonder, was he even in the top 16 of the invites? I don't think so. I have to scroll a little bit up. No, Sini was, oh my god. Sini was the last replacement we had for the entire tournament. He was ranked 23, slightly ahead of Moon. But yeah, this is the top seed against the bottom seed in the grand final.
What a story. What a storyline. That's funny. I didn't realize it was the bottom seed. Wow.
Yeah.
My god.
This is almost $1,000 for Sini as we go into the grand final and the game for third, where there is a $170 difference roundabout between LawLiet and Sock. And these numbers, these prize pool numbers, are only possible because of you guys out there who are buying the profile pictures, because of UD fans and Kleine Schildpad who contributed a lot, and of course scale tippers who get you ready for the summer. If you want to step up your fitness and nutrition game, your diet and workout plans, these guys got you covered. You hit them up for a little bit of counseling on a call, and they create the perfect plans for you and your goals. They're big Warcraft fans as well, so in between the talks about workouts and what to cook next week, you can talk about this result. And man, here for the W3Champions finals, there's a lot to talk about. Pretty affordable. You start with the $50 counseling, and then you see it right here, the all access for just $100. You can see some impressions of their work over at Instagram and on YouTube. And of course, the success of their sponsorship is dependent on how many followers they gain for that. So go check them out, hit thescaletippers.com and follow them where on Instagram and YouTube. We're here for the W3Champions finals. We got 2 more series for you. The best server in the history of this game, of course. Check it out on W3Champions.com, W3Champions.com, that is. For 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 4-on-4, and FFA, as well as Legion TD, Reign of Chaos, Banjo Ball, Random Heroes, and Dota newly added. We got more than 7,800 games yesterday, so the most activity ever. Queue times are short, matchmaking is fair, you can adjust your hotkeys, you can adjust your camera zoom to the dot, and you can also just watch games with the Flow TV feature, also with the instant replay download function that they provide on their homepage. W3Champions got you covered, whether it's competitive, whether it's amateur one-on-one, whether it's fun game modes, or just learning and watching Warcraft. All desires filled. And we go into a little bit of a break. You guys have the mission to boost the prize pool up to 5,500. We get LawLiet versus Sock, and then Happy versus Sini in our grand final. An unbelievable day here at the W3Champions finals. See you in a bit.